Hi everyone, welcome back to Box Delights. Today we're playing a war game that comes in a book. It's in a series of books. This one is the latest. I think there's another one just coming out, First World War One. This is Battles of the English Civil War, a solitaire war game. Mike Lambo's put these series of games together, and I absolutely adore it. This is brilliant. What I like about it is it's got positional play like chess, like Hotline, one of my favourite games, where you've got different units on the map and you're playing against an AI that follows some simple logic. But the simple logic in this game is enough to give you depth and simple enough that you can just keep it all in your head and play the game really fluidly. It's got high playability, great tactical depth, super fun to play. And they don't take that long. I mean, they're not insignificant, but, well, we've opened up here. This one's called The Battle of Braddock Down. I think there's 15 in the book. There's a bunch of tokens that you can cut and print out. I've downloaded a PDF from Board Game Geek and printed out my own. Tokens are double-sided. So, for example, these are the Pikeman. So you've got this regular side here and then a demoralised side here. So I'll print these out double-sided. Right. Or you can substitute. There's no stats on here. You can substitute for anything you want. Okay, as long as you can indicate some way of showing that one side is regular and one side is demoralised. Okay. All right. So this particular version has lots of different battles of the English Civil Wars. Right, we're going to do the Second Battle of Newbury. I've chosen this one because it's got representation of all different forces. It's map number 12, so it's right down the difficult end of the book. So they start simple. Actually, the designer's done a walkthrough of the Battle of Edge Hill, so if you want to check this one out, that's good. Yeah, I think this one will be fine. It doesn't matter if we win or lose. I just want to show you how to play. But all the instructions you really need are here, okay, despite the chunky few pages of rules at the front. Alright, so let's see. We're doing the Second Battle of Newbury, 27th of October, 1644. We're the Parliamentarians, and we're playing the AI, who are the Royalists. The Royalists, led by King Charles I himself, held off the Parliamentarian attack, led by Sir William Waller, but the king knew he could not fight another day and so retreated north. We have to win, it says, remove or demoralise all enemy units before the time runs out. We've got 10 turns. Right, so we start with the turn tracker here on turn 1. Now with this book, I mean, it's up to you. You can either cut the pages out or just fold them down. So we're going to go with the fold them down approach. We've got all our tokens. Bring your own dice. Typically you want a number of 6-sided dice equal to the number of units you have plus 1. That's really the desired number of dice. So there we are. We're the Parliamentarians, Oliver Cromwell and his rebels, and we're taking on Charles I, the Royalists. Okay, so we're red, they're blue. So we want 2 Musketeers, 2 Pikemen, 3 Cavalry, and 1 cannon. The AI are going to have 1 cannon. So we set up at the bottom, and we need to set up our units in these hexes with the black triangles. They have 1 cannon, 3 cavalry, 4 musketeers, and 3 pikemen. Right, so they do outnumber us. In some missions, you've also got this Earl. So for some of the maps, you have to kind of kill the king type scenario, take out the Earl. In others, it's more about eliminating all their units. So that's what we're going to do in this one. We're going to eliminate all their units. It says remove or demoralise. So a demoralised unit is one that's flipped. So when you hit a unit, it becomes demoralised. Right? If you hit a demoralised unit again, it will flee the map. But a demoralised unit can rally and become regular again. All right, so that's a rule to keep in mind. Now we don't know where they're going to deploy yet, so we've got to look at where we can deploy, say on these black triangles. Okay. Cannons have to go on the backmost rank. So they're going to, well, they've got quite a lot of forces. They could be as far forward as this. So these hexes with numbers on it are where they're going to deploy. And the deployment mechanism for the AI is brilliant. Really good design, and we'll show you that in a second. So to start off, we get to choose where we want to put our units. Now these hexes here are hilltops. Right, so these are hills. They're kind of like raised up, and then these are plains, and then we've got some woodland here as well. There we are. So we're set up. Now we'll set up for the AI. It says the cannon set up on a 1d6, so we'll roll the die and we'll see where it goes. And these hexes are numbered, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the cannon's going to go in one of these 6 hexes on the back here. It's a 1, so their cannon is going here. Cavalry is, we're going to set up 3 of them, d6 plus 18. Okay, so roll a d6 and we're going to add 18. Now if one of them would be placed in a hex that's already occupied, you just re-roll. Okay, so we've got 1 cavalry in 1 plus 18 is 19 over here. And we've got 18 plus 5, 23 and 24. So here and here. All right, so they're setting up kind of similar to what we've done. Musketeers, set up 4 of them in 2d6. Okay. So the 4 musketeers. The first one's going in hex number 9. Hex number 8. Hex number 11. And 8's occupied. Hex number 3. Okay, so all down the middle here. And then the pikemen are in 3d6. Let's see where they go. We've got 13. So 1 here. 11 is already occupied. 10 is over here. Okay, that one's a bit awkward for them. And then lastly, hex number 4, which is here. Okay. Yeah, so that's unusual, but this is how the rolls can go. Now we're the commanders, obviously, so a little bit of miscommunication between the commander and its units. A poor roll resulted in this pikeman being kind of misplaced at the back here. Really, you want your pikeman out in front of these units. So the way it works is we've got to eliminate all their forces or demoralise them, hit them to demoralise them. We go first. We roll dice equal to the number of units we have, so we're going to roll 8 dice. With a 1, 2 or a 3, we can move the units. With a 4, 5 or 6, we can attack with a unit. And you have to assign, because you're rolling a dice equal to number of units, you assign 1 die to each unit. So each unit will either move or attack. Pretty simple, right? Now there's ways you can mitigate those die rolls. We'll look at that as we get into it. But once we've allocated our dice, then we'll action each of those units, and we can do it in whichever order we want, so they'll move and attack with each of our units. Then the AI goes. The AI logic's right here, so there's a little set of rules. If this, do that, and if that, do this, okay? The AI will do theirs, so they're going to move and attack with each of their units. You do each type of unit first, so we're going to start with their cannon, then their cavalry, then their musketeers, then their pikemen. So when we do the musketeers, for example, they've got 4 of them. You do the one that's furthest down the map first, and then if they're equally far down the map, left to right. Okay, so we're going to do this one, then this one, then this one, then this one. Work through all the logic, activate all the AIs, that ends the turn. Turn marker goes up, and you repeat. Okay, so nice and simple, and you've got 10 turns to try and achieve the win condition. Remove or demoralize all enemy units before time runs out. Cool. So we start with us. We're going to roll 8 dice. Okay, we're hoping for lots of movement at this stage. Let's see what happens. Okay, well, we got lots of movement. In fact, that's a pretty perfect roll. So let's assign a die to each unit. You can do this however you want, but just placing them next to each unit is good. We're going to move these. We're going to move all of these. I couldn't have asked for a more perfect roll. When rolls are bad, I'll show you how you can mitigate them. Okay, so remember, 1s, 2s and 3s are moves, 4s, 5s and 6s are attack. It's all over here. So remember, we've got player orders. Roll 1 die for each unit. Once only. Re-roll 2 or more matching dice if you desired. So I could have re-rolled 2 or more matching dice. Okay, that's the mitigation. Allocate 1 die to each unit. We've done that. And then resolve on each unit activation in any order. 1, 2, 3 move, 4, 5, 6 attack. A 6 is a rally. Okay, so if we do have a demoralized unit, we can rally it on a 6. We'll come to that when it happens. All units can move 1 space. Okay, 1 space in any direction. Apart from cavalry, who can move 2. Okay, they're faster. The cannons, on the other hand, they can also just move 1, but they have to stay on this back rank. The only other rule you need to understand is you can't enter, move through, or finish your movement on the same hex as another unit. Okay, so they do block each other off. So let's do some movement. I think we're going to move a cavalry here. We're going to move our pikemen here. I'm going to move my musketeer here. I got a little bit blocked in by my cannon. I'd like to have moved him up here, but we'll go here. We'll move this pikeman here. We'll move this musketeer here. So as you activate each unit, remove its die. Now I can move my cavalry too, remember, so I could potentially move this up here. But their cavalry can also move too, so moving 2 in here means he could come in and attack us. Adjacency is an attack, so I've got to look out for that. So I'm just going to hold back a little bit. You've got to be cautious how you hold back because you've only got a limited number of turns. But I'm just going to move this one across here. I'm going to move this one across here. Being on a hillside is good. I might have been better off going up here, but you do get the advantage of high ground. And we're going to see that now as we fire our cannon. So this is the last one. Remember, 4, 5 or 6 is attack. So an attack is 2d6. And we look at this table here and it says we're attacking with a cannon. It's got a move of 1. Okay, so here's all your summary. It's got a range of 8. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you can basically fire the whole length of the map. Cannon can only fire straight up in a line. Okay, so you can't say attack this guy over here, even though it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 away. It has to be in a straight column. All right, they can't fire off to the sides. They can't fire in a bendy. Okay, all right. Realistically, they could have rotated the cannon, but that's the one rule of cannon attacks. They can only fire up each of these columns. Okay, and then it says for the cannon to hit a musketeer, I need to roll on 2d6 an 8+. Pikeman, it's 8+. For cavalry, it's 9+, and then hit another cannon, it's 8+. Now, as it goes, you look up this column. You're hitting the first unit that you see, which is a musketeer. So if this pikeman was in between here, I'd be hitting the pikeman instead. Right? But if the pikeman was behind here, again, I'd be hitting the musketeer. You can't hit a unit behind another enemy unit. Okay. You can fire over the top of stuff. There's other modifiers, so you can fire over the top of trees. But here's the terrain or situation. If the attacker, me, is on higher ground than the target, it's not. The target's up on high ground as well. But if the pikeman was in here, it would be. This would be down on the plains. It would be a -1 to the hit. So against the pikeman, normally it would be an 8+, but because I'm on high ground, it would be a 7+ on 2d6. Make sense? Okay. Defender in trees adds a +1, so instead of it being an 8+, it would be a 9+, so it would be slightly harder. Attacking through trees, if I was trying to attack over these trees, for example, that would be a +1. And then if the defender is demoralized, you'd get a -1 as well. So a demoralized unit is easy to hit. Now it does say for each unit that could attack the target unit, we'll come to this when the situation arises, but basically that's support. Can any of my other units attack this musketeer? No, because they're all out of range. Okay, musketeers have a range of 3. 1, 2, 3, and they can hit any hex that's 3 away. Okay, it's only the cannon that has this single column straight ahead rule. Pikeman is only got a range of 1. Cavalry have only got a range of 1. Okay, so let me just do that again. So we've got a cannon firing at musketeers. It's a 2d6. Cannon to hit a musketeer is an 8+. None of these modifiers apply. Okay, there's no trees in the way. We're not on higher ground than the target. We're on the same level. He's on a hill as well. Okay, so it's an 8+ to hit those musketeers. Let's roll. We got a 7. All right, we missed. We missed. If we'd have hit, we'd have demoralised him. He'd have flipped. Okay, and then potentially pushed him back as well. But again, we'll look at that when we get there. All right, that was it. That was my turn done. So all we've done is a little bit of a jiggle around, reposition yourself. Like I said, I probably wanted to push around onto the tops of these hills. Possibly my musketeers here will be better off positioned up here, but I'm worried about their cavalry coming in, and we'll see what happens now because it's the AI's turn. Activate unit types in order below, then bottom to top of map and left to right. Okay, all right, so cannon says attack the nearest unit in the same column. So this cannon is looking for a target in the same column. There isn't one. I moved them all away. So instead, if at all possible, move to an adjacent hex which tops the column with an enemy unit in it. Remember, cannons have to stay on the back row. So you could either move this way or that way, but you can't move to a hex where there's already a unit. So the only possibility is moving that way. Does it top a column with an enemy unit in it? Yes, it does. Nice and simple. So cannon moves that way. Okay, that's cannon done. They've only got 1 cannon. Cavalry would attack an adjacent. We don't have any adjacent. Next, move adjacent to and charge attack. Okay, can they move adjacent to any of my units? Remember, they've got a move of 2. No, they can't because I've kept back. I've held back. All right. So what does it do instead? Instead, we roll a die, and it says on a 3 or 4. Move 2 hexes towards, and 5 or 6 move 2 hexes towards, and it's a different priority of targets. All right, so we're going to roll a d6 for each of our cavalry in order. Okay, so bottom to top, left to right. On a 1 or 2, they'll do nothing. On a 3 to a 6, they'll move. Now, what I like to do is find all the cavalry and give them a little bit of a tilt. Okay. Then, as I resolve each one, I'll untilt them. So there's all my cavalry. The bottommost is this one. So we roll a die. A 1 or 2 does nothing. 3 or 4 move towards the nearest musket. 5 to 6 move towards the nearest cannon. It's a 5. So this guy moves 2 hexes towards the nearest cannon. Now it says cannon greater than cavalry, greater than musket, pike. Okay. What this means is if I didn't have any cannon, it would move towards cavalry instead. If I didn't have any cannon and I didn't have any cavalry, it would move towards musket. And then finally, if I had no cannon, no cavalry, no musket, it would move towards the nearest pike. All right, so as long as I've got a cannon on the board, it's going to move towards the nearest cannon. It doesn't matter if these guys are nearest or a better target or anything, okay? Pick your target first. Move 2 hex towards the nearest cannon. It also says favouring horizontal moves. All right, so we'll look at that too. So it's going to move 2 hexes towards the nearest cannon. It's nice and simple. Once you've done it a couple of times, it's easy. But here we go. Here's the cavalry. Here's the cannon. That's the target. It's going to move 2 hexes towards. And it says it's going to favour a horizontal. So it could move. This is a vertical move. This is a horizontal move. Okay. So if it's in these trees, this is a vertical move. This is a horizontal move. Okay. I know this looks like it's a little bit vertical as well, but it's not. It's a horizontal. Okay. So vertical just means up and down the columns. Horizontal means to one of these 4 sideways. All right. Prefers moving horizontal. So if this and this, if say the cannon was like this, either of those hexes takes it closer. Okay, that one makes it only 3 away. That one makes it only 3 away. It would prefer horizontal. So remember, this is vertical, this is horizontal. So in this situation, it would move this way, and it moves 2, so it would actually move that way then. Okay. Despite the fact that you might think, well, moving into trees was tactically better. That's very situational. It might not be, right? Imagine if this pikeman wasn't here, actually this might be the better move. Okay, so don't think about that. You're not trying to think, what will I do? You're not trying to think what's best for the AI. You're just following the instructions, right? So in this case, 2 hexes closer to this cannon is 1, 2. It's moving here. Right? Job done. That's that unit activated. So once they've done something, once they've moved or attacked, forget any further instructions. They've done their thing. After moving, if they've moved adjacent to something, then they would be doing what's called a charge attack. Again, we'll look at that when it happens. But moving next to a unit means you're engaging that enemy. Okay. Once you're adjacent to an enemy, you can't move away. You're engaged with that enemy. You're stuck next to them. You're fighting with them. You're in hand to hand. Right, who's next? From the bottom up, this guy's next. We roll a die. He also can't do any of these things. He can't attack an adjacent. He can't do a charge attack because he can't get next to anyone with 2 move. It's a 5, so he's also going to move 2 spaces close to the nearest cannon. Okay, so 1, 2, preferring horizontal moves. Lastly, this one. Again, he can't attack adjacent. He can't charge attack. He's going to roll a die. And someone's rolled a 1. Okay, so this is slightly different. 5 to 6 was moved toward cannon. 3 to 4 was moved towards musket. 1 or 2 does nothing. So this guy is staying put. He's going to hold back in reserve. All right, we've done cavalry. Onto the musketeers. So let's tilt our little musketeers. There's 4 of them. Top to bottom. This one first. Attack the nearest unit in range. Their range, remember, musketeer is 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, 1, 2, 3. There's no one in range. So what will it do instead? Roll a die. On a 4 to 6, it moves 1 hex towards the nearest unit. On a 1 to 3, it does nothing. Okay, so let's see what this guy does. We roll a die. 6. Okay, it says move 1 hex towards the nearest unit favouring horizontal moves. We know what horizontal means. What's the nearest unit? So the 1, 2, 3. This one's 4 away. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is 5. This is 5 away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is 6 away, right? So the nearest unit is this cavalry. They've got a movement of 1. Unit musketeer, movement of 1. Remember, they've all got movement of 1 apart from cavalry. Prefers horizontal moves, but these horizontal moves don't take him nearer. If he moves here, he's still 1, 2, 3, 4 away. He's currently 4 away, so that's no good. So he will, although he prefers horizontal, he will make a vertical move if it completes his objective of moving closer to nearest. Make sense? Right, next would be either this one or this one. We move from top to bottom, left to right. So this one next. So again, no one's in range. He's going to move towards nearest on a roll of 4 to 6. We've rolled a 3. He's standing still. Next is this one. Rolled a die, 4 to 6, he moves. Does. Nearest. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, right, these two are equally close. This one's more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 6 away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 6 away. So these two are equally nearest. Which does he pick? But it doesn't offer a preference of which target, so we have to determine randomly. So we can just use our dice. So it's up to you. You could say, right, 1, 2, 3 is going for this one, 4, 5, 6 is going for that one, or maybe you'll go odds and evens. All right, so let's do that. Odds, evens. Odds for the pikeman, evens for the cavalry. Evens for the cavalry. He prefers horizontal moves. So to get closer to his cavalry, there's 2 spaces that will do it. Space 9 or space 15. He prefers horizontal moves, so he's going in here. Okay, now he's only 1, 2, 3, 4 away from his target. Here he'd have been 4 away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. Job done. So they're moving down off these hills. What about this last musketeer? Roll the die. It's a 3. It's not moving. 4 to 6, he'll move. All right, job done. So you see how easy it is? And once you've done this a couple of times, it actually gets stuck in your head. Right. Next is the pikeman. Pikeman will attack adjacent. How many pikemen have they got? 2. It was 3. It was 3. There's one here. There's one back here, and there's one here. Right, there's his 3 pikemen. So we're doing this one first. This is bottommost. Attack adjacent. Move adjacent to. He can't move adjacent to. He's only got 1 movement. So again, we roll a die. 3 to 4. Move towards nearest cavalry. 5 to 6. Move towards nearest pike. So let's roll for this one. It's a 2. He doesn't move. Next up is this one. Okay. So again, he can't move adjacent. He can't attack adjacent. Let's roll a die. It's a 4. Move 1 hex towards nearest cavalry. Nearest cavalry is this one or this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pick a target. Okay, so we'll go odds, evens. It's evens. He's moving towards this one. And it says move towards nearest cavalry, favouring horizontal moves. So again, 23 or 24. These 2 spaces takes him closer. He's going to go this way because he prefers horizontal. Takes him closer. See? All right. Last pikeman is this one. Roll the die. It's a 1. He's not moving. And that's it. We've finished. Okay, we've activated all the AI. Turn marker goes up to turn 2. Back to me. All right. How many units we've got? 8. So we're going to roll 8 dice. Right. This is going to get some. Turn 1 was a bit of a positioning turn because I held back, but if I'd have pushed forward a little bit, we'd have been straight into the action already. But now we're in a good place. My pikemen, I want to head towards the trees. I can only move forward 1, so I'm not in range to attack them yet. Their cavalry could attack my pikemen, but they probably don't want to. Pikemen are good against cavalry. Cavalry are good against musketeers. Musketeers are good against pikemen. So you've kind of got that rock, paper, scissors type effect going on, I guess. Cannon are kind of, they're equally good against everyone, but they're weak against cavalry. Because cavalry are moving fast around the map, they're harder for cannons to hit, I suppose. Alright, I would like some attack if I can. Now, I don't have any. I've got 1 attack and tons of move. So I want at least, well, I can use this 6 to attack with my cannon. This musketeer is in range of this cavalry, so I'd like this musketeer to fire, but I don't have any attack. So what can I do? I can re-roll 2 or more matching dice. So I could re-roll the 1s, I could roll 2 of them, or I could roll 3 of them. I could re-roll the 2s, or I could re-roll the 3s. It doesn't matter which I choose. So it depends whether I fancy re-rolling 3 dice or 2 dice. I can't re-roll all of them. I can only choose 1 set of matching dice. I only want 1 attack, don't I? And I want the rest to be moves. Yeah, no one else is in range. So I might just re-roll a pair and hope that I get at least a 4, 5, or 6. Alright, let's save the 1s and 2s. I want to get at least, I'm hoping for a 4, 5, or 6, but just 1 from these dice. Ah, I got 2 4s. But you can only do this once, so I can't roll another pair. Right, I've got 2 attacks that I didn't want, but I want 1 of them here on this musketeer. I definitely want to move these musketeers up. This cavalry could target this pikeman, but pikemen are good against cavalry. Cavalry are weak against pikemen. They're very weak against pikemen. So maybe I'll leave that cavalry there. So I'll put the attack on him, and he can't attack. So basically that die's doing nothing. And then we'll put moves against everybody else. Right, let's see how this goes. Unfortunately, this musketeer didn't move down off this mountain, or these hilltops, because that would have made him a little bit easier to hit with my cannon. Alright, so let's go with the cannon first, with his attack. So cannon against musketeer is an 8+ to hit. We don't have any modifiers, because we're not on higher ground than them. There's no trees in the way, no one's demoralised. So it's straight up 8+. Okay, So remove the die that we're activating with, and that's why I keep a spare die. You see, that's why I chose 9 instead of 8. So now I've got the 2d6 I need. The rest is still out here. Okay. All right. And we're targeting this guy. 8 plus, please. 6, 7, 8, 9. We got it. Okay, brilliant, brilliant. I can show you what happens next. Right, we got our hit. So with a hit, you demoralize. And then we got a 9. So that was the way I do it is this. You count 1 for the hit, and then every additional one pushes him back a space. Okay, so they kind of flee. So it's 8, 9, pushes him back here. Now 2 units can't occupy the same hex. So if you push him back onto an occupied hex, they go back 1 more. And if they go back off the end of the map, they're out. They've fled the battlefield. Right, 1 unit down. Perfect. And that's great because a demoralized unit that remains on the map, let's say we'd rolled an 8 instead. Okay, we needed an 8 to hit, so it would have been 8, no more. Okay, he would have stayed there. A demoralized unit on the map has got a chance to rally. Okay, if we'd have got a 10, that would have been, this is how I would have done it. I'd have gone 8, 9, 10 off the map. He's out of here. Cool, nice and simple. All right, that was a good attack. Well done, Cannon. I'm going to take this die off because this cavalry's got no one to attack, so he's not doing anything. Everybody else is moving. My question is, what order do I want them to move in? And this is really important, and this is the clever part of the rule, is this supporting move, because it means you're now trying to figure out what order do I want this stuff to happen in. Because, for example, at the moment, if let's say I wanted this musketeer to move into this spot, well, he can't because this cavalry is blocking the way. So I'd have to move that cavalry out of the way first. But maybe I didn't want to move that cavalry. Maybe moving that cavalry in the, up and out the way puts him in range of this musketeer. Okay, so there's lots of little different bits of strategy going on. I can't move him anyway as it goes as an attack. But the other thing is this supporting move. So this musket, for example, can attack this cavalry. Now I've got a bonus here, attacker on higher ground, -1 to hit. But there's also this one here. For each unit that could attack the target unit, you get a -1. So it's a nice little supporting bonus. Now at the moment there are no other units that can attack this cavalry. It's just this musketeer. But if I moved this cavalry up, let's say I did that first. Now he's adjacent. Cavalry have got a range of 1. So now when I attack with this musket, I'd get the boost, I get the bonus for each unit that could attack the target unit. This could attack the target unit. It doesn't matter it doesn't have a die. It doesn't matter that it's already moved. It's in a supporting position. It's in a position where it could attack now or in the future. So this would have a bonus, a -1 to our 2d6. Perfect. Right, so that's why these things are important. Which order do you choose to do things in? Okay. Do I want to move that cavalry in? I mean, this cavalry is currently in range of this musketeer, right? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. He's not in range of this musketeer. But if I move him up, then he is in range. Now, these guys would have a strong attack. This musketeer would get support from this cavalry, from this musketeer. Possibly this one will move in and give support as well. So this is a dangerous position. So I could move the cavalry in, but is it worth it? It's a tough question, because then my cavalry might fall. I mean, we could move the cavalry into these trees, at least then they'll get a cover bonus. This guy might move down. The other thing is that I could move this one up, 1, 2, he'd be a supporting unit as well. So we could go all out, push our cavalry up, and try and take out this cavalry. If I move this cavalry into these trees, then he's supporting attacks on both of these. Well, we can move this musketeer. Let's move him back over here. This cannon's moved out of the way, that's good. We can move this pikeman up. Move this pikeman up. I don't like this pikeman. If I move the cavalry around this way, then this pikeman's coming at them. I might move this cavalry in here. Okay, now let's think. I've moved a unit adjacent to another unit. Now this is called a charge attack. So I'm doing a charge attack on either this thing or this thing. I have to pick one of them. I'm engaged with both as it goes, but I can only attack one of them. I think I'm going to go for this one. Cavalry on cavalry, a little rule to remember is whenever you're attacking unit of the same type, it's always an 8. I don't have any support bonus, there's no one else in range. This musketeer is out of range, 1, 2, 3, yeah. I'm in trees, but that's only a benefit for the defender. So it's an 8, it's 8 cavalry versus cavalry. So I just need, I need to roll an 8 on these two. So this is the bonus attack, alright? And it only happens when you first move adjacent. Okay, I wasn't adjacent, but now I am. Okay, so next turn, if I remain adjacent, I don't get this bonus attack, this charge attack. Okay. We got a 4, right? That missed, that did nothing. Okay, now I'm thinking about my cavalry. I might want to move this in here. If I move this cavalry here, then I'm in range of this pikeman. And this is where such a simple game gives you some deeper strategy. Moving them in is good because they give support, but they're vulnerable then. This spot, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I mean this guy's in the trees, so although he's being hit by 1, 2, 3, 4 units, he's in the tree. But I really want to take one of these out. I'm going to leave my cavalry where they are. I'm going to do nothing with these guys. Oh, I could move over here. I'm giving up good ground, aren't I? But it does mean I can move either way with my cavalry. Yeah, I think I'm going to stick here. Okay, and then lastly, we're going to attack with our muskets. So 4, 5 or 6 is an attack. So, we're attacking, we've got a range of 3. Muskets have a range of 3. 1, 2, 3. I'm attacking this cavalry. So musketeer on cavalry is a 9 normally. We are on higher ground, so that 9 goes down to an 8. And there is 1 unit in support, so that 8 goes down to a 7. This is the supporting unit. Could attack that cavalry. So if I'd moved that one in, it would have been down from a 7 down to a 6. 6 sounds a lot better than a 7, but I'm going with 7. I'm going with 7. I need a 7 to hit. The good news is if he flees, there's 2 musketeers sitting behind. He's going to push him all the way back here. So anything higher than a 7 would be even better. A 10! So it was 7 to hit. So 7, 8, 9, 10. Didn't quite push him off, so he's got a chance to rally. That 1 cavalry moving in there would have pushed him off the map. Yeah, that supporting one could have made a difference. That would have been a 6, you see. You know what I mean? 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 pushed him back. Yeah. But at least my cavalry's safe. Okay, that was the last one. That was the attack of the Musketeers. AIs go. So we start with cannon. The cannon here has got a straight line attack on my cannon. Cannon on cannon is an 8. They've got no bonuses. They're both on high ground. There's nothing supporting. So an 8 needed for their cannon to hit my cannon. They got the 8. So cannon are demoralised. Okay, cannon done. Next, cavalry. Furthest forward cavalry is this one. He's engaged in adjacent hand-to-hand combat. So will attack. Cavalry on cavalry is an 8. We're in the trees, so the 8 goes to a 9. But they've got 1 and this one 2 musketeers in support. You see how the musketeers have a range of 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Yep. So that 9 becomes an 8, becomes a 7. So they need a 7. I don't think there's anybody else that could attack now. So they need a 7 to hit my cavalry. And the problem here is I've stuck my cavalry back here. So if this guy flees, he might flee all the way back to here. 7 needed. And they've got a 4. So he missed. Okay, whoops. Let's tilt that one. He's not done yet. He's not done yet. Right, he's done. Next cavalry is this one. He's further down the map. Right, there's no one adjacent. Can he move adjacent to anyone? No, he can't. So he's going to roll a die. Remember, it was attack and adjacent, move adjacent. If he can't do that, then 1 or 2 is do nothing. 3 or 4, move towards nearest musket. 5 to 6, move towards nearest cannon. Let's see what he does. It's a 2, he's doing nothing. Okay, this cavalry's still holding back, protecting the cannon back here, so he's a bit of a rear guard. Right, what about this cavalry now? This cavalry is demoralised. He can't move and he can't attack. Instead, he does a rally roll. A roll of a 5 or 6, and this is different. For me, to rally my cannon, I need to roll a 6. For the AI, they get a 5 or a 6. A roll of a 5 or 6 will rally a demoralised unit, and its activation will end. Otherwise, it will flee. So if they don't get a 5 or a 6, it will flee. And fleeing, it says, on failing to rally, it will flee 2 hexes. So if he doesn't rally, he's going to move off the board now. So he needs a 5 or a 6. It's a 2. He doesn't rally, he's going to flee. That's another unit gone. Cool. Right, we're 2 down. Musketeers next. So where's our Musketeers? 1, 2, 3. Right, this one first. Attack the nearest unit in range. The nearest unit in range is this cavalry. Musketeer on cavalry is a 9+. It's a 10+ because he's in the trees. -1 for each supporting unit. That's a supporting unit he could attack. That's a supporting unit he could attack. So it's 10, 9, 8. It's back down to 8. So 8 for this Musketeer to hit this cavalry. It's got a 7. We're good. Okay, this guy's going to hit nearest. So remember, once you know the logic, you know the logic. So exactly the same. Musketeer on cavalry is normally a 9. We're in the trees, so it's a 10. 2 supporting units takes a 10 to an 8. This guy needs an 8 to hit this cavalry. He's got a 7. It's a miss. We're doing well, we're doing well. The trees here are helping us. This is a good spot. Okay, finally, this Musketeer, no one's in range. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we're just out of range of this one. So instead, on a 1 to 3, it does nothing. On a 4 to 6, it moves to nearest. It's a 6. It's going to move 1 hex towards the nearest unit, favouring horizontal moves. Nearest is 1, 2, 3, 4. That one's 4 away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That one's 6 away. That one's 5 away. So this is nearest. Favouring horizontal, it's going to move here because now it's only 1, 2, 3 away. Okay, so it could have gone here or here. Remember, favours horizontal, so it's going that way. And that cavalry is now in range of this musket. All these muskets are now supporting this cavalry attack on this cavalry in the woods. This is why this map is tough. Pikeman next. This one, this one, this one. Attacking adjacent, no. Move adjacent, no. So 3 to 4, move towards nearest cavalry. 5 to 6, move towards nearest pike. So he's potentially coming this way. So 2, he's not moving. Same for this one. So he's potentially moving around this way. Looking for a 3 to 6. No, it's a 1. He's not moving either. Okay, now the rear guard, this one that's out of position, needs to come around. I don't think he can move. It's a 5, so he's going to move 1 towards nearest pike. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, nearest pike or nearest cavalry. This doesn't take him nearer. This doesn't take him nearer. He wants to move here, but it's blocked, so he's not going to move either. Wow. Okay, turn 3. I've still got 8 units, so I'm still rolling 8 dice. I want a 6 because I want to rally my cannon. I've got a 6. We've got lots of attack and some movement here. So let's get this 6 on here to rally my cannon. Right, this Musketeer needs to move because nothing's in range. Let's give him a move. And this is why I needed to be up on these hills, because now these things, if I move this way, that's probably okay. But now I'm in range of this musket. I feel like this cavalry needs to do something about one of these muskets. So they're properly in the way here. So I think I'm going to move these out the way. Then I'm going to move the pike. I'm going to move these cavalry as well. And then I've got 3 5s and these guys can't attack. So I'm going to re-roll these 3. Remember, I can re-roll 2 or more matching dice if desired. I want to get some movement out of these, really. Ah, and it didn't work. 4 5s and 6. Okay, that's no good. So let's rally our cannon with the 6. These 3 have got no one to attack, so that's doing nothing. So now it's all about what's going on here. This musket's moving in here. Now which way do I go? My cavalry unit is going to be kind of a little bit sacrificial, but I'm quite a long way forward, so I do have quite a bit of time to rally if I move here. But I feel like I need to take out these muskets. Cavalry on Musketeers is a 6+. We've got this Musketeer in support, 1, 2, 3, so it's now 5+. No one else is in support, so 5+ on these muskets. We got a 7, so 5, oh, still not quite high enough. 5, 6, 7, they've got a chance to rally. And this is why you want to try and get the highest die roll possible. It doesn't matter if if you've got a unit you can attack, you want one that's going to attack with the best die roll possible in order to push them back further. So do I attack with, see, I could charge attack with these cavalry if I move these pike out of the way. You can't move through, so I could move these pikes out of the way and then move the cavalry in, but pike are much better against cavalry. So we're moving this pikeman in. He's in the woods, so he's got a nice bit of defence next time. Pikeman against cavalry is 7+. And we've got support from this cavalry, because it's adjacent and can attack. It's got a range 1 attack. And this musket, 1, 2, 3. So it's 7, 6, 5. So he's going to attack on a 5. He's going to hit on a 5. And we've got a 9. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. He's out of here. This little group of pike, cavalry, musket are doing a fabulous job. Do you see how well muskets can support these other units, and how pikemen being at the front really do give a great, not just an attacking line, but also a defensive line, because anything kind of trying to come through after this musket, if they had cavalry trying to push through here now, as soon as they engage with another unit, they can't move past. Like if I was over here, for example, and I wanted to go for this musket, my 2 movement, I can't go 1, 2, go for the musket, which is an easier target, because this pikeman's here defending. It would be 1, now I'm engaged, I'm adjacent. As soon as you're adjacent to another unit, you have to stop. So this pikeman is defending that cavalry from an attack down the right here. But as it goes, I can go 1, 2 like this now and get around this pikeman, and that's why this pikeman here is so badly positioned. He needed to be out the front here protecting his muskets. Anyway, we've got 1 movement left, and it's this cavalry. And I feel that the cavalry is feeling a little bit more confident. We're going to move through here. That's it. AI's turn next. Cannon first then, as usual. So it's no modifiers, 8 on 8. Maybe I need to, well, this is just a bit of a face-off going on here. Maybe I need to move my cannon probably back here. Have a go at this pikeman. But if I do that, he's probably going to move his, well, he could move his cannon that way. That might be good. Then I can move my cavalry out of the way. We'll see. You kind of got to lure their cavalry away if you can. Right, so then he's an 8, 3. He missed. Okay, cool. Cavalry next. So they've only got 1 cavalry now. No one to attack adjacent, no one to charge attack, so it's going to be 3 or 4 move towards musket, 5 or 6 move toward cannon. Move towards cannon. He prefers horizontal moves. So he's going to go 1, 2. Ooh, okay. He's moved across and into the open field. He's actually moved in line of my cannon. Okay, next Musketeers, of which he's got 3. This one first. So attack the nearest unit in range. This is 3 away, this is only 2 away. So he is going to be muskets on cavalry. Muskets on cavalry is a 9. But he's got support from... Demoralised units don't offer support. He's got support from this one. 1, 2, 3. Remember, they've got range 3. So it's a 9. Support takes it to an 8. So he's an 8 to hit this one. Yeah, he doesn't have support anywhere else. Cannons can offer support, by the way. Look out for that. 3, he's missed. Wow, we're getting some good rolls. Okay, this one's going to attack nearest. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So it's one of these two. Nearest unit in range, preferring musket, then pike. Okay, so then cavalry, then cannon. So he prefers pike. So he's going to go for this one. He has support from this because this is in range as well. So he's going for this one. Musketeer on pike is an 8. -1 because of that is a 7. But it's in the trees. That puts it back to an 8. So he needs an 8 to hit my pike. He's got the 8. So my poor pike are demoralised. And they're not pushed back out of those trees because it was only an 8. But they're not going to be doing anything next time. Okay, then this musketeer, he just needs to rally. And he'll rally on a 5 or a 6, otherwise he's off the battlefield. He's got his 6. So that musket's rallied. Those muskets are proving troublesome. Okay, pikeman next. He's got 2 of them. Oh no, he's got 3 of them. He's got 3 of them. This one first, he's furthest down the map. No one adjacent, can't move adjacent, so it's 3 or 4 move towards cavalry, 5 or 6 move towards pike. Let's see what he does. It's a 5. So move towards nearest pike. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So that one or that one. So again, we'll go like odds, evens. Odds it is. So he's moving here. And he's in range of my musket now. Right, this one next. So he's not adjacent. He can charge attack. And he can charge attack cavalry. Move adjacent to and charge attack a unit, preferring cavalry. There's no preference over horizontal or vertical moves this time. So it could move here or here. So again, we'll roll a die. Odds, evens. It's an odd, so he's moving here, charge attacking this cavalry. Now this is going to be dodgy. Pikeman on cavalry is a 7, and he's got support from 1, 2, 3 because those things rallied. So 7, 6, 5, 4. He's going to hit on a 4. I think my cavalry are done for. And it's got an 8, so it's 4 to hit. 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, they've just survived. Just survived. Right, that pike against cavalry is strong. Lastly, this one. He can't attack, so and he can't move attack. So 1, 2, 3. 1 or 2 don't move. 3, 4 move toward cavalry. 5, 6 move towards pike. Oops. 3. Move 1 hex towards nearest cavalry, which is this one, favouring horizontal moves. So he's coming in here. And that's pikemen done. Okay. End of turn, we're into turn 4. I've still got 8 units, so I can still roll 8 dice. Remember, you roll the number of dice equal to the number of units. So if I lose these 2, then I lose 2 dice. I'm rolling fewer dice. So as your force gets weaker, your dice get weaker, and then you've got less chance of mitigating those dice rolls as well. And less chance of rallying, less chance of getting what you want. Losing units is bad. So I want 6s, particularly for this cavalry. Or even this pikeman, actually, because he's quite a long way forward. Okay, I've got 2 6s. I'm happy. I'm happy. Yeah, I've pushed the Musketeers back so my cavalry can't hit them. I probably want to get this pike in here. So let's move that pike. I can attack that cavalry with this cannon. I can move this cavalry. I want to attack with these two muskets, and I'll move the cavalry. I've only got 2 3s, 2 more movements. So I'm going to re-roll these. 2 matching dice. I want some attack. I got a 6 and a 5. Okay, so we'll put a 6 and a 5. Brilliant. Whew, good rolling. Let's rally these two then. Done, done. Let's fire my cannon. Now we're hitting that cavalry. Cavalry's hard to hit, remember. Cannon on cavalry is a 9+, but I am on a hilltop. So that's an 8. There's no trees in the way. There's an 8 to hit their cavalry. We got a 9. 8 to hit, 9 pushes him back 1. Good. Okay. What next? Muskets on pike. Muskets on pike is an 8. We're not on higher ground. Yeah, well actually I probably would have wanted to move. I probably would have been better with a move around here. Let's do this one first. This musket on this pike. So we're on higher ground. So Musketeer on pike is normally an 8, but we're on higher ground, so that's a attacker on higher ground is an 8, takes an 8 to a 7. There's no one in support, is there? Depends what happens to this pikeman. Whether this cavalry... No, I don't want this cavalry to take on this pike. I really want him to come around in this gap, really. But I need to get rid of these pikes first. Because whichever way this cavalry goes is going to engage one of these pike, unless he goes up into the middle here. Interesting. Alright, muskets on pike. What do we need? A 7, isn't it? 7. Yeah, we need a 7 because we're on high ground. We got an 8. Okay, 7, 8. We've pushed him backwards. Okay, so maybe now I can push my pike forward here. This cavalry can now 1, 2. I might... Or 1, 2. 1, 2. I'm going to chase him down because cavalry on pike is a 9, but defending unit demoralised gives it a -1. Right, so that's an 8. If I can hit him, then he's removed from the game. He doesn't even flee. Demoralised units which are hit again are removed from the game. So I need an 8. 9! Yes, okay, so you're out. Sorry, it's exciting. Okay, now that creates a gap for my other cavalry, potentially. Let's do this one first, because this is a musket on a pike. If we can get rid of that pike, that really does open things up a little bit. Okay, so muskets on pikes is an 8. There's no support, so it's a straight up 8. We're not even on higher ground. Yeah, it's not great, is it? A 3. Yeah, we've missed. Okay. That makes things tricky. Cavalry, what are you doing? If I'm moving forward, he's in range of these muskets. If any of these muskets come forward, which they're not going to do because they're all going to go after this pike, but if they defeat this pike, then I can move my cavalry in. So I can't even come around the back because this pikeman's guarding it. The only thing I can do is come around this way. Okay, I'm going to move back around here. If I move around here, this pike's going to engage me. Yeah, that's why I didn't want to do it. This is why I wanted to knock this thing out. The only thing I could do is sacrifice my cavalry and go after that pike. It's got support. Should we go aggressive? Let's go aggressive. So cavalry on pikeman is reckless. It's a 9+ with an 8 because I've got support. So I need an 8. I got an 8. Okay. It doesn't push him back. I needed a 9 to push him off the map. This cavalry is surely going to fall now because it's got 3 muskets aiming his way. I feel like it was worth it. Okay, that's everything. That's my dice. Cannon first then. And they're targeting my cannon again, and it's an 8. There's cannon on cannon. They missed. Alright, cavalry. They have 1. It's currently fleeing, so we need to rally it with a 5 or a 6. It's failed, so it's going to flee 2. That's another unit out. Okay, Musketeers, they've got 3. We're getting closer, we're getting closer. Those Musketeers are causing the problem. We've got to figure out how to get to them. So this one attacks nearest in range. It's the Cavalry. Musketeers on Cavalry is a 9. Remember, Cavalry are harder to hit. But they've got support. This one's fleeing, so not supporting. So 9 plus those 2 support, 8, 7. A 7. And it misses. This one next doing the same. Again, a 7 needed. Oh, it's on high ground, so actually a 6. Yeah, so 9 plus support, 8, 7, high ground, 6. He's missed him now. So again, it's the same. 9, 8, 7, high ground, 6. Ah, they got him. They finally got him. 6, 7. There's a unit in the way. 8. So we didn't route very far. Pikeman next. So this one's this one and this one. This one's fleeing. So he's a 5 or a 6. He's failed. So this one's gone because he's going to go 1, 2, fleed. Yeah, 1, 2, and then back 1 because he's not nowhere to go. He's off. So Pikeman next. Move adjacent he can't do. So 3 or 4 move towards Cavalry. 5 or 6 move towards Pike. 1 or 2 don't move. 5. Okay, so he's moving towards Pike. And it's going to be the nearest. 1, 2, 3. Where's this one here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. So he's moving towards this Pike. He can't go that way. He can only go this way. Done. Right, so finally this pikeman's decided he needs to take up position to defend his Musketeers. This is going to be the tough thing. Right, turn 5. I've still got 8 units. So we're rolling 8 dice. Okay, that's a 5. Alright, so I've got a 6 that I need to rally that Cavalry. This one's got to move. Oops, that's a 1. That one's got to move. Let's use the 2, just in case I want to re-roll the 1s. Although it doesn't matter, I can re-roll the 3s. I've got too many attacks, really. So I could re-roll the 6s. I could re-roll the 6s. So I've got the 5 here. But then my Cavalry are going to back off. These have got to move. These have got to move. I could leave this Cavalry where he is and move this Cavalry up. Yeah. I'm going to stick with this. So this guy rallies. That guy attacks. He's got no one to attack. The cannon attack. So again, it's cannon on cannon, both on high ground. We need an 8. Misses. Now everybody else is moving. This Cavalry wants to come around the back, but I have to move in. We could engage these pike. If I engage these pike, then my Cavalry is free to go around the back. Yeah, that's a good idea. And then, yeah, I haven't got any attacks off this time. That's a bad turn. This pike's come out of the woods, but he's going to engage him like this, but not before the Musketeers have probably taken him out. But we have to go for it, I think. We have to draw this pikeman out somehow. Let's see what happens. Okay, cannon first, so it's going to be, again, cannon on cannon is an 8. He's missed. Cavalry, they've got none left. Musketeers, so 1, 2, 3. Attack nearest in range, which is this pike. Musketeer on pike is an 8. He's got support from 1 unit, so that's a 7. Ah, he's got it. 7. He's doing the same, attacking nearest. 1, 2, 3, yeah. So again, he needs a 7. It needs a 6 now because he's demoralised. So it's normally an 8, 7 for support, 6 for being on high ground, 5 because he's demoralised. He only needs a 5 to destroy that pike. He's got him. So we've lost our first unit. Well, maybe they've done their job, I don't know. Right, no one's in range of this one. So what's he going to do? 4 to 6 and he'll move. It's a 1, he's staying put. They're drawing me in, these musketeers. I don't like it. Okay, pikeman, we've only got one left. 3 to 4, move towards cavalry. 5 to 6, move towards pike. 3, move towards nearest cavalry, which is now this one. And he prefers horizontal moves. They're both horizontal moves. So this is good. I've drawn him away from there. Odds, evens? Odds. So he's going in here, defending the cannon. 10-6. It's time that's against us now, I think. We've outnumbered them, but they're refusing to come down off that hill. But they don't have a defensive line. Tricky. Alright, I've only got 7 dice now. Just 7, huh? 7's still really good. Doing better than I thought, actually, in terms of casualties. Right, I probably want to reroll those 5s. So we've got, yeah, a 4 here, 3 movement. Yeah, I'm going to reroll those 5s. I want more move. And, oh, just 1 extra move. Okay, so we've got to prioritise, haven't we? Right, those are not going to do anything. I think it's got to be these. Who's good against musketeers? Cavalry are the best, and then pikemen. 6, 7, 4 more turns left. 1, 2, 3. I could get the pikemen in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But the cavalry are going to be better. I think these muskets are too far back. First off, let's fire the cannon against these pike. The pikemen are still up on the hill, so it is cannon versus pikemen. It's still 8. It's still 8. So I'm going to do this attack. 8 v 8. 7, we missed. Okay, I think the cavalry just once into these trees. And the muskets could come down here. And then they're supporting. But I think up here and then here. And then they're targeting this. This cavalry unit up. Pikemen across. We still haven't got any attacks. So it's the long chase. Time is not with us. Right, cannon first. So they're going after this pikeman now. So it's still an 8, but they've got a +1, so it's a 7. But I had to get them in. I had to get them across. So they've moved into the path of the cannon. So it's 8 normally. It's only cavalry at a 9, so it's 8 normally against all units of the cannon. But because they're on a hill, they get a -1. So it's 8 -1, 7. They need a 7 to hit. Come on, pikeman. Can you break through this line? No! 7, 8. He's pushed them back. Ah. Darn it. Cavalry. None. Musketeers. They've got 3. They're going to attack nearest. 1, 2, 3. They're all going for... Yeah, these 2 are going for this cavalry. So normally, musketeer on cavalry is a 9. We're in the woods, so it's a 10. They've got 1 support here. That's back to a 9. 9 it is. And they've missed. Okay, they're going to have a 9 as well, but they're on a hill, so it becomes an 8. 8. Oh, close. It's a 7. These guys have not got a target, so they're going to move potentially. On a 4 to 6, they'll move. They don't move. Goodness, they are being stubborn. Pike. is going to move and charge. So Will, I mean, obviously the advantage is the hill, but there's nothing in his logic to say stay on the hill. So you're going to move closest. It's odds, evens. We'll say odds, evens. Evens. So he's coming down off the hill. Pikemen do good against cavalry. So it is Pikemen against cavalry, a 7. They came off the higher ground. If they'd have gone the other way, it would have been a 6. So 7 to hit. They got the 7. Darn it. Okay, turn 7. We're running out of time, folks. And every time they hit us, they're basically pushing us back, which means they're winning and we're losing. We've still got 7 dice. I want a couple of 6s. We've got them. So we're going to rally and rally. He's moving in. He's moving in. And I've got 2 attacks, which doesn't help me. One over here. He's got to move in. And this guy's got an attack, which I didn't want. I mean, the other option is I don't rally these and move him up, but that doesn't help. Alright, that's what we're doing. So we'll have to rally these 2. That one's got a 4, which is an attack that doesn't help. Cavalry's got to move forward. And I think we're rushing in. He's moving forward. He's moving forward. He's got a charge attack. Cavalry versus Musketeers is a 6. He's got support from here. Makes it a 5. Can we push this back? We need a 5. A 6 would be good because it will take him off the map. We got it. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. He's off. Our cavalry are vulnerable now. Him against him, that's an 8. Cannon on cannon. Yes! 8, 9, he's gone as well. Whew. Okay. There you go, Musketeers, that's done. Musketeers first. He's first, he's going to attack nearest, which is the cavalry. Musketeer on cavalry is a 9. He's on a hill, so it's an 8. He's got support, so it's a 7. A 7 to hit. He's got the 7. No. I didn't want to see that. He's got, so 7 to hit. He's demoralised, so it's only a 6, and that cavalry's gone. He's got him, he's gone. I've lost another unit. Pikeman next is attacking him. Pikeman on cavalry is a 7. 1, 2, 3. Doesn't have support. And he's missed. Oh, double 1. Snake Eyes is a fail. Okay, turn 8. We're running out of time, folks. I'm down to 6 dice. Okay. They've got to move. They've got to move. They've got to move. He can attack, but ideally would have been moved. But he can't move because he can't disengage. The only way this guy's going to come into play is if they come down off the hills. We could move the cannon. He's got no one to fire on. Actually, we could move him up here and support the attack on that pike. Alright, let's do that. So let's do that first. He moves up. He moves up. 1, 2, 3. That guy's supporting nobody. So he's moving in. Cavalry's moving in. Okay, we're going to hit one of these 2. It doesn't matter which one. I'm going to go for this one on the right here. He's got support from 1. So cavalry versus musketeers normally a 6. He's got support from 1. That's a 7. That's a 5. We need a 5 to take him out. We've got a 6. 5, 6. It's done it. It's pushed him off. Whoa! We're vulnerable. This is the downside. Cannon's not firing on anybody. So the last one is here. This attack. Cavalry on pike with 1 support. Cavalry on pikeman is a 9+. With 1 support is an 8. 8. We need 10. 8, 9, 10. Ho, ho, ho. They've got 1 lone. Oh, that was a fantastic round. But they've got 1 lone musketeer, and they've just got to hold out. This is like defending Rorke's Drift up here. Okay, what they're going to do? Musketeer attack the nearest unit in range, which is this cavalry. Musketeer on cavalry is a 9. He's on high ground. It's an 8. Anything less than an 8, please. Ooh, 7. That was close. And alright, we've got 2 more turns. 1, 2, 3. We've got 6 dice still. Come on, we can do it. Okay. Attack I need. Attack I need. Move, 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 move. Although they're out of the game. So they're coming across here. In fact, they're coming up here onto the hill. They're going to move up here. They're going to move down here. Cannon's going to move across here. They could get a shot off next time. 1, 2, 3. They're still 1 away to support. So next time these guys are moving into support, they're all moving into support. Who do I want to fire? I could have him attack first or him attack first. So whichever's got the best die roll, really. I think it's the cavalry. Cavalry against musketeers is a 6. With 1 in support is a 5. So they're attacking with a 5. We've got 2 turns. They've got a 6. 5, 6. That's it. That's the victory. All we had to do was remove or demoralise all enemy units before time runs out. We've got our victory. Wow. I mean, he's probably going to flee the battlefield next time. We have won the Second Battle of Newbury, October 27th, 1644. There it is then, Battles of the English Civil War, an absolutely fantastic game. Look out for Mike Lambo and his books. There are other books in the series, so there's a whole bunch. Try different things, different themes. Fields of Normandy, Battles of Normandy. Goes to the Jungle, I think it's more like a Vietnam type one. He's got Australian forces in this one. Medieval Britain, so you got which is much like this one. You've got things like the Battle of Hastings, Stamford Bridge, all that. Beaches for the Brave. This one's kind of different. This is more like D-Day dice, actually. I've got a copy here I can show you. Beaches for the Brave is a very different system. You're still allocating dice, but you've got these different paths that you need to move up. Go and check out Heavy Cardboard YouTube channel, because they did a playthrough. Edward did one solo. It's really good. I think I prefer this one, just because of the tactics and strategy involved. Yeah. Race to Bastogne, Hostage Rescue Squad, also a little bit different. You've got rooms, and I've not tried this one, but I know you've got hostage situations and you've got to infiltrate a building and get people out and that kind of stuff. And then Battles of the English Civil War, and upcoming is First World War, so I'm really looking forward to that. There you go, thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. I highly recommend it. These are a really good price. They're only little books, but so much gameplay. I mean, I could happily play that one battle just over and over. Right, there's so much game. A great value price. Yeah, you got, I mean, invest, and I spent some time making nice tokens, nice-ish, so, but well worth it. That's it. Thanks for watching. See you next time.